Why people call Jasmy the Bitcoin of Japan? Well, you have to understand where that comes from. Don't ever buy or sell anything that I talk about, guys, and this is not financial advice. Make sure you guys watch all the way through to the end, because you're going to discover what Jasmy... So in the markets today, we see Jasmy actually bounce off that 0.007 level. Guys, it's holding good. So Bitcoin is actually bouncing off that 89,000 level. So we could potentially see Bitcoin go up. Guys, sorry, I'm sick. I'm trying my best I can. So if you hear some heavy breathing, it's just what it is. So the main thing that we really need to understand as Jasmy holders and Jasmy investors is that, A, we've seen adoption. We know that Jasmy has been growing significantly, because I remember only having 23,000 holders at a period of time. And now we're over 100,000 holders for Jasmy. So that right there shows you what kind of growth we've been making over the course of the last 3 years. Now, Bitcoin in Japan, that's the famous buzzword behind Jasmy, and Binance monitoring zone is the pretty much the downer or the FUD that brings down Jasmy. So we got two different sides of the spectrum that we're going to talk about today. Understanding where Bitcoin in Japan came from, and necessarily it only came from the origin behind Jasmy in Japan and what that relationship looks like, how Jasmy is trying to conquer global communication and global adoption based on IoT and personal data rights, right? So looking at personal data rights, I mean, we need to understand what's going on inside the market, and we see in the market that there's decentralized finance institutions building infrastructures. So stage one, right? Stage one, we're getting ready to implement, decentralized finance. We're implementing stable coins. You have XRP basically set around the world. And now we have a new buzz with World Liberty Financial and USD1 and ZBEC network, essentially setting up a pipeline for people to use all of those utilities that they have to offer. So where does Jasmy come in? And that's essentially what we need to focus on. So we're going to talk about it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Make sure that you're just, notified when my videos come out, because I think that my videos portray the best information and vision behind understanding what's going on with Jasmy and what's going on with World Liberty Financial, ZBEC network. And we're even going to throw in a little bit of QNT, because I believe there's a partnership brewing, or something's brewing with the connectivity between Jasmy and QNT. So we're going to get into all this information. So hopefully you guys watch this all the way through to the end. Let's get into this video. Essentially, the greatest thing about a Jasmy holder is basically, we're in it to win it. We've been holding Jasmy, we've holded it, and, there's been really no bull run, but we've still made money. If you bought Jasmy early, before it even hit into the 1, 2, 4, 5 cents, you made a nice bag of money and had an opportunity to cash out. Some of you may have cashed out a little bit. Some of you may have held it. Some of you may have sold it all. But I'll tell you what, now's another opportunity to get Jasmy at the levels that people were first involved. So this is where I say that, potentially if you took some profits and you go into this new market in 2026, I think you're going to have an opportunity to buy Jasmy and get another mega win in Jasmy, especially as a Jasmy holder and a diamond hands. Shout out to my diamond hands out there, guys. Much love to you guys. Keep doing your thing. There's going to be bad talk. There's going to be everybody has a personal opinion, and everybody has their own liking to whatever cryptocurrency they like. But you know what? We're Jasmy family. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. You know what I'm saying? Do your own research. And that's the best thing that you could possibly do. First things first, let's talk about the Bitcoin of Japan. I think that they basically brought that up based on understanding that they could have mass adoption with Jasmy utilizing IoT, because if you look at Japan, it's a very technical, technology driven place, right? So the thing is that when technology starts to formulate and it starts to grow into mass adoption, you do get end users that start to use the technology that Jasmy is going to be putting out, and it's going to be based on Internet of Things controlling the data that's out there, because we also know that big data businesses capture that information and become very profitable. But why not put profit back into the hands of the users of the American, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Europeans, Australians, Africans worldwide. And if I missed you, Germans, we all need to be able to monetize off of our data, because big companies have been doing it. So what I think Jasmy is portraying is the fact that if they could actually break through and get that type of global adoption, they would essentially become what Bitcoin is doing. Right now, Bitcoin is becoming a globally adopted cryptocurrency token across the entire world. That's what I think the bar is set for Jasmy to basically get that type of adoption, especially dabbling within IoT. And they're doing it by funding a support system like Junction to be able to connect or create a connectivity to all these countries and all the places in the world and the globe to be able to utilize Jasmy in an IoT sense. The PDL locker is coming true. We have the smart identity. There's a lot of things moving forward for Jasmy. I think that hitting this 0.007 mark and bouncing up off of it is kind of showing some stability within the market. There's people that have their eyes on this project, and I believe that we're going to continue growing, that we're going to get the venture capital companies coming in. Now, on the flip side, we have to, talk about the disgusting, and I think it's disgusting because I don't understand why they have not released Jasmy out of the monitoring zone, because essentially everything that they required from Jasmy. So basically the complaint is, to get you some background contents behind the monitoring zone, is that Binance basically said that Jasmy didn't have any utility, or there was nothing going on, no communication or anything like that. So what they did was label it in there. But here's the funny thing that I think is truly disgusting is Binance owns majority of Jasmy tokens, which is pretty crazy. Why would you own majority of Jasmy tokens but yet hold them captive? There's something that's fishy right there in that area, but I know that they know that they're going to be extremely profitable once Jasmy starts to break ground on all of the roadmap that has been put in place. And this is where you guys as Jasmy holders should be very, very excited. I know I am, because I can't wait till we get massive adoption, and then, everybody talking crap about Jasmy can go ahead and put their foot in their mouth, because we've been holding strong, taking all the blows, but yet we still believe in it, and that's why we hold it. And this is where we will see the rewards of it, because that's what we believe in. And once you believe in something and you really, truly are invested in it, and you could, get through those hard times of watching the price go, down and up and down and up. I mean, we haven't even had a real bull market yet, but I think there is an altcoin season that's on the cusp. And it's essentially has to do with what's going on, what's being done in the background that everybody tries to keep a big secret, but, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what's going on. So that's another thing to be excited about. Lastly, the thing that I want to touch on too is it's so hard. I want to put out a price prediction, but guys, the market has been so crazy, but I honestly think we will hit our $50 billion market cap with Jasmy, and I'm really hoping it happens this year. I think, based on what's going on, with Bitcoin ETFs and XRP ETFs, and just the adoption of crypto alone. And I think if we push through the Clarity Act, then we're starting to get, basically the Clarity Act is going to be a sign off for big investors, institutional investors. We have a couple major players in Bitcoin, but once that Clarity Act goes, we're going to start seeing all the sideline institutional guys with a lot of money start buying into Bitcoin. And you're going to see that Bitcoin is going to be, if not as valuable, but potentially even more valuable than gold, which means that that's going to kick off the utilization of cryptocurrency and the utility behind cryptocurrency. And that's where we'll start to see the beginning, which is stage one, which is decentralized finance institutions coming into play. Then you're going to have your stable coins tying into these DeFi decentralized finance banks. Then what's going to happen is that we're going to need those IoT and then the AI, and that's when all the other niches that are in cryptocurrency are going to start to basically connect the dots, join the Legos, continue closing that puzzle, open up a lot of room for cryptocurrency to adopt and gain in global massive adoption. So that's one thing to be excited about. For all you Jasmy holders, continue holding. I think we're going to see some great things in 2026 as far as there might be some devaluing of fiat currency, and then we're going to see some asset increase valuation. So there's a lot of things to be excited about in cryptocurrency and in Jasmy as a project and as a native token, along with Junction and Jasmy Chain. So guys, make sure you hit that like, subscribe. It helps the channel. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.